The rear door is the same as the front ones. It's two 8mm in the back of this cover and the handle, two 7mm in the bottom.
You just finished up the roadkill on the rear door and also the roadkill on the actual door panel itself. This is the back side of the rear door panel. The front looks identical to this. This is the roadkill ultimate. It has butyl, it has aluminum foil, and then it also has this foam barrier. It's a lot more rigid. Plus, if there's going to be any contact with metal or plastic or anything like that, it's got the foam to add in and make it, you know, so it doesn't rattle any. But all the speakers are in the doors. Let's take a look at what we got. Looking at the front door, the panel's in place. We had to take it off to check the depth of the speaker, and then he just put it back on. He's got ultimate on one side and stealth on the other. This is all stealth. What makes it stealth is it's black. Fast ring is now onto the mount that we made. The speaker's in place. Our wiring is done. Looking at the back door, it didn't get the cover here because it's not going to be needed. This is just a rear effects speaker. It's not going to be doing a ton of mid bass. That's what the front speaker's for. They are the Voce coaxial AVX 6.5. This is a 1.65 millimeter speaker, or a 6.5. It has a 4 ohm impedance and a 91 dB of efficiency. Opening it up, we have the owner's manual, warranty card, and another sticker. Cool. These come with a swivel tweeter that makes them easier to mount when you screw them into the door, so you can aim the tweeter up towards the listener that's going to be using them. In this case, they'll be aimed back towards the passenger of the rear of the vehicle, nowhere near the front. We don't want it to screw up our soundstage. And then the outboard crossover is located right here. It's attached to the physical speaker. These also have a maximum power handling of 200 watts. When comparing the coaxial with the front Voce tweeter, this is bigger than this one here. However, it is very similar in shape and make. It has the same swoosh. They just make a silver one on here. The basket is made out of aluminum. It's really nice. Heavy speaker too. These are just because he has kids and he wants them to have sound. Stealth the door, stealth the inside of the door, fast rings. This is all wired up and ready to go. Here's the front door with all the ultimate on it. Now we just got to get these back on, and this side will be done. Now, the last step, of course, is the tweeter, and that would be making a mount for the tweeter. As we said, we're going with the Voce AV 1.1 tweeters up in the factory location. That is that area right there behind the red thing, which means we need to get these off and figure out a bracket assembly for them. To get these off, this piece here on pop, pull it forward just a tad, and there's a 10mm bolt behind this side and that side. Now before we get started, let's take a look and see what comes in the box. Get a warranty card, an Audison sticker, oh that's cool, and the owner's manual. In the box, we have two mounts. Now these are designed for if you're gonna be putting them up in the dash where let's say a 2.5 or a 3.5 is, you can use these to go into those factory screw holes. You also have some bezels to finish off the look if you're gonna be mounting them inside of let's say a door and you have to cut a hole or whatever. You have some angle pods. You have some tweeter locks here along with a bunch of screws. And then the tweeter itself. Now a couple things about the tweeter. This is a 28mm tweeter or a 1 1/8. It's 4 ohm impedance, a 92 dB efficiency rating, and has a peak power handling of 180 watts. The mounting depth is 5/8 of an inch, and it has a circumference of 1 7/8. Now looking at these closely, this bar does not look like it's designed to come off, which shouldn't be a problem for us. Take a closer look at our forward A-pillar. This just uses a standard 2-screw mount, very similar to what comes in the box. Wow, well, this might be easier than I was thinking. These actually line up with our factory screws. And it screws right in place. The only thing is that these are really thin. Although they are very strong, they are very thin. What I'm thinking is maybe a hybrid between this tweeter mount here and this ring here, so is that we get these fatter ends, but we get this bigger hole. It would look something like this, but all tweeter. But this will give us a great place to start because we know we have the right everything. So after a little bit of math and some figuring out, this is the shape we've come up with. Our tweeter will lock into place, and then it'll line up with the same locations that these went ahead and attached themselves into the mount. This one, of course, we just made out of wood because it's our template, as you can hear in the background, and laser one out of 1/4" acrylic. It's a little bit thicker. It'll give something more for this to bite into. This is the finished product here. We used 1/4", but you'll notice this is thinner because I needed the tweeter to inset some, so I took it down to an 1/8 inch here. How we did that is over on the router. We still have the other side to do, so join me and I'll show you what we did. We set off a rabbiting bit here, so it only takes this thickness off here. We just needed to take that thickness off on this area here, and it'll thin this down. That trimmed out and all the paper off, we can put our tweeter in. It fits in nice and tight. I mean really tight. That's the joy of having the laser. It cuts really close. Set it in place. There we go. Our tweeter is screwed into the factory location, just like the factory tweeter was. The one thing we are going to do is we are going to take it back off. We're going to add a little bit of foam around it so that it helps, just like the fastenings in the doors, to push that through into the car. So now we have the foam on. We filled in all those gaps around it, even better than the factory. I'm going to get this over to Fernando so we can finish it up.